watching PTZOptics Live, a 1080p broadcast available exclusively on YouTube Live every Friday, streaming at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. Broadcast quality made affordable. Thank you for tuning in.
Hello, everybody. Paul Richards here with PTZOptics. I have with me Jim Davis. Jim, how are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome.
And Tess is joining us as well.
Hello.
Tess is going to give us a social media update in a little bit, but first of all, I wanted to thank Jim Davis so much for being here from DVS Direct, an elite NewTek partner, here to really get us up to speed on some of the latest NewTek NDI integrations, including IP camera control for the PTZOptics cameras, color grading, which is something that is so important in really high professional broadcasting. And Jim, I even have the video that you did showing the lowest latency of NDI with your flashlight, and I'm going to show that too.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I've got that as well, but just to kick off the show, I wanted to let everyone know we live broadcast every Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. And if you hit that like button, you're actually helping us donate to charity. We donate to the Susquehanna Valley Casa. Last year it was over $20,000. And just by hitting that like button, you're up to $250, which we still have never hit that level yet, but maybe we will one day. This month we did Osprey Video. We talked to Stream Monkey, and today we're talking to DVS Direct. Next Friday, we are giving away a Wirecast gear, a $5,000 value. You have to be watching live to claim any of the prizes, and today we're giving away the NewTek Connect Pro app. A $1,000 value. If you haven't joined our Facebook user group, go over to facebook.com to check that out. It's a great place to learn about the industry. And Jim, let me ask you, on this streaming poll here, where do you think we are? How far along is live streaming right now?
Well, I think it's at the beginning.
Just at the beginning?
Yeah, it's just starting to really take off. What are you talking about? I think oh, go ahead.
This is kind of like an early adopter stage. So are we past the early adoption? Is it majority yet, or we still have a long way to go?
I still think we have a long way to go. I think we're just hitting the peak or the tip of the iceberg right now.
Yeah, I read somewhere that video communications, including live streaming, last year was somewhere in the neighborhood of 12 billion, and by 2020 we're looking at roughly double the size, if not more. And that's just video communications. That's not even all broadcast. But let's go ahead and ask Tess to give us a little social media update. How are you doing today, Tess?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me here, Paul, once again. To kick things off over on the social media side, we want to give a shout out to our 10 most recent subscribers on YouTube. Paul's going to pull up the link for me here, and I'm going to read them out to you. We have Tushar Duda, Mr. Best NYC, Jose Hernandez, Muhammad Yai, Jonathan Perez, Pixel Studio TV, Kami Shah, Brian Balk, Jude Clark, and Ryan Erickson.
Thank you, everybody. We always appreciate having you guys.
Yes, thank you guys here. We also want to pull up one of our favorite comments from this week from YouTube. Thank you, Kyle. He said, NDI is changing how we produce our morning announcement news show. That obviously is really relevant for today. So thank you for that comment.
Yeah, we really appreciate all the comments that we get out there on social media, and we're going to be bringing in the most relevant comments every single show, so especially if it pertains to the live show. So now, Jim, it's time to bring you into the lightning round. Are you ready for that?
Okay.
Here we go.
Give it a shot.
Okay, Jim, just 60 seconds to get to know you a little bit better here. Tell me, are you a coffee or a tea drinker?
Definitely coffee.
Oh, I knew it. How about, are you a Mac or a PC kind of guy?
PC all the way.
Oh, there you go. How about on the mobile side, iPhone or Android?
Android.
Ah, okay. Tell me, what's your favorite book?
Probably Grapes of Wrath is a really good one.
Ah, such a good book. That's a classic. How about your favorite movie?
Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come.
That's it. Yep. Every time I see that movie, I get choked up.
You got a story about NAB? Oh, well, that'll take too long. How about this? If you could go back into 24 hours of history to watch anytime, anywhere, any place, where would you go?
Oh, I'd probably go back to listen to Lincoln give his Gettysburg Address.
Oh, that's a cool one. Great. Well, I'm sure most of you have seen the show before, but just if you haven't, we're going to give Jim 60 seconds to answer these questions that we have on our list. And Jim, the first one would be, just give us an introduction. Who is DVS Direct?
Well, DVS Direct, we are a system integrator. We build TV studios. We've been doing this pretty much since the birth of desktop video. We were actually one of the original NewTek resellers back in the days of the Amiga computer, if anybody remembers that. And NewTek basically invented the whole concept of desktop video. And then we just went from there with the, back in the early days of nonlinear editing systems with Matrox and RT systems, and just kept growing as the market changed. We changed with it and ended up where we are today.
Wonderful. And you really are somebody that you can actually find a lot of great videos about online, which I always appreciate.
And
we're going to show a little bit of your video. It's just a little preview. It's not quite right time to jump to this, but tell us, what is new with NewTek? Because you're a NewTek elite dealer and you kind of have the inside track. Some things you might even not be allowed to talk about, but tell us what's new. What can you talk about that's like kind of the latest and greatest from NewTek?
Well, I don't know if the latest and greatest would probably be NDI. I mean, there's probably some new stuff that I'm not aware of because I'm not that into the NewTek channel, but some of the new apps for NDI and some of the other manufacturers that are supporting NDI now, it's really becoming almost a universal standard, which is what I find really exciting about it. Mm-hmm. So, and we're going to probably talk about a few of these things here a little bit later. But, I would say that, just NDI in general is probably a game changer.
Yep, definitely. And that seems to be the thing that most people are talking about. Give us a little introduction to the NewTek NDI, and I'll take you full screen because I have a feeling you're going to start showing us some of your cool stuff that you got over there.
Well, okay, so NDI stands for Network Device Interface. And what it is a way to route video, full broadcast quality video with very little, if any, latency across the gigabit network. In fact, here we are doing that right now. I have the TriCaster that I'm using as my main switcher, and I'm sending that to another computer that's running a product called Ndi Transmit, and that's running video to your web conferencing system, the Zoom system. We also, excuse me, there's a train coming by, so we have a track right next to us that will he'll do his horn. Anyhow, and then we have our system over here running NDI Connect, which right now I have the browser, the web page for the IP camera. Here's your video coming back to me, your system. Now we're getting video feedback. But all this stuff is coming back into the TriCaster using NDI. Wow. So it's a very powerful system. We've got a couple schools using it right now where they're actually bringing video from across the campus instead of hauling the switcher to the auditorium. They'll just take one of our NDI Connect boxes to the auditorium, hook their cameras up to it, route the video back. So I think we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg, and a lot of people who don't yet understand what NDI really can do, once they do, they're going to realize what they can, what you can accomplish with it.
Wow. And you're going to show us today some of those features, including the NewTek Connect Pro. Right. You showed me this a couple days ago, running an auto color and how powerful that can be. Can you show us that?
Sure. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually auto color is available in NDI Connect Pro, in the TriCaster Advanced Edition systems, and in the 3-Play 440 and 4800. So I'm actually going to show it to you here on the TriCaster just because it's easy for me to do that. But if you look here, when I open up the, and this is really simple. If you notice, first of all, my cameras, I've irised them down a bit. And the reason for that is to kind of keep the cameras from blooming. And if anybody understands what it is, when you bring the camera and you bring in video that's too hot and you exceed the dynamic range of the imager, you'll start getting, like along my forehead or something, you'll start getting really hot spots. So I want to bring the video down a little bit. And then using NDI Connect, or I'm sorry, not NDI Connect, Auto Color, I'm going to open up the Auto Color window real quick. It's basically just a one click. And see what happens to the video now. It becomes much more I guess vivid for the best description. Let me put that camera up on the so you can see the difference. So if I turn off auto color, and I turn it back on. The other thing that you can do is you see this option for multicam. So I'll turn that on. Then I'll go to my second camera, and you see again it's kind of dull. And I'll go ahead and turn it on. Turn on auto color.
Wow.
Turn on multicam. Now, what's really cool about this is it's matching without any effort on my part. It's bringing those cameras very close enough that if you want to spend hours tweaking the cameras and getting them matched up together, you could. What's really interesting about this is these are two completely different cameras. The one is your PTZOptics 20x zoom camera. The other one is a Sony HXR NX5. So they're completely different imagers, completely different cameras, but using auto color, I can get them pretty close. And so it's just a really, really powerful tool and easy to use. And so with the NDI Connect Pro that somebody's going to win today, you have that functionality. And plus, since it is NDI, that'll work with any application you want to use it with. You could use it with vMix. You could use it with Streams. I think StreamStar is supporting NDI.
Yes.
Any apps that's going to bring in NDI, that processing is happening at the NDI Connect end. So you don't need a TriCaster to use it, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Well, that's important. Yeah. So we talked about the Connect Pro app. You're doing the auto coloring, which seems to be so super simple. Of course, we could do more advanced stuff as well. Can you tell us about IP camera control, which seems to be a new feature for PTZOptics that NewTek just slipped in there? I didn't even know they had it until a couple days ago.
That came in the standard edition build back in November, and an advanced edition build recently on the 25th of January, I think. So it's real simple to set up. First thing we're going to do is take a look real quick, because there's some information you need. If you look at this is the web page for the PTZOptics camera. And if you look, there's the third port number, PTZ port. You need to get that 5678. Okay. So once we get that, and if you look at the IP address, it's 10.1.10.2.40 for this camera. So all we have to do now, and let me bring up that window. There we go. So what we're going to do here is go to the PTZ's tab, which I've already got it set up, and select PTZOptics Ethernet, enter the IP address, enter the port number, and you're ready to go. So now once we have that set up, we can just basically run the camera by just selecting different presets in the user interface.
Wow.
And, or I could set a new one if I wanted to, I can either control it using the controls here, and zoom it around.
Very nice.
Or I can just use the remote and do it that way. Then if I want to set a new preset, I just hit the little camera button here. Oops, there we go. Now that's memorized. What's really interesting about this that I kind of found out when I was playing with it is these presets are stored in the camera. So if I load a new session, even though I don't have these set up, I can open up the PTZ control and it'll go to all these presets just like they're set right now, which I was kind of surprised about. But like I said, it's very simple to set up, very easy to use. And if you go back to one of my other videos on when we talked about the Visca control, there's also, I did a small video on using the control surface to control the camera with the little joystick and everything, and that will work the same here. So if you want to, you could actually control the camera, on the fly with the control surface. So that's really, it's nothing to it. It's just that NewTek finally implemented it, and so we are able to use it, and this makes my life a lot easier, because doing IP control is a lot simpler than running RS-232 cables to try to do Visca control.
Yeah,
Right.
and I mean that makes it about. Oh well, we won't compare them with anyone else. They did it. They did a great job. What is the Ndi Transmit app?
Okay, so Ndi Transmit. We're probably going to get feedback when I do this, but you can see there's your conferencing software coming back to me, and
Okay, I'll take a full screen
I'm going to
here.
run over here to this mouse, this other computer over here, and so oops, wrong app. Here we go. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that, but all my NDI sources are available here. And when I select one, that's automatically going to be fed as a webcam into any application that's looking for a webcam input.
Wow.
So basically, you can take any NDI source and use it with any application, conferencing application or any other thing that uses the webcam as a video input. So it's and you can see all my different NDI sources available are here that I could route to you just by selecting them. So it's a real simple app to use, but that's what Ndi Transmit does.
This interesting. So that's a cool little app. It's kind of like the external feature in Wirecast and vMix.
Right, exactly. So, and then also we're using the Ndi Scan Converter to bring these monitor feeds in. So it's kind of like I forget what Martin calls his application. I think it's desktop capture. Kind of works the same way, but the one nice thing about Ndi the Scan Converter is you could capture the whole desktop, or you could just capture maybe a web browser only or a PowerPoint only. And every one of these, when you set them up, would become separate NDI feeds back into your TriCaster. So theoretically, you could have a PowerPoint and a web stream coming in as two separate NDI inputs into the TriCaster off the same computer. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's pretty,
it does
pretty
get a little.
I guess it's kind of
over here. I'm like,
it's mind-boggling. Trust me, and I know I get brain freeze, and I deal with this stuff all the time, and I still get brain freeze with the potential for this. One of the other things I like to mention about NDI is I kind of look at it as an equalizer, because with NDI I can now interwork with anything. Like I could start. I don't have it running right now, but I can start up my vMix system. I could share inputs from the vMix system with the TriCaster, or vice versa, or any application. Like I think StreamStar, the current version of StreamStar, supports NDI now. So any of these products that have NDI built into them can share their inputs between each other. And I'm hoping, and I don't know, we talked about this the other day. I'm not sure yet about Wirecast, but I've been asking everybody I know that uses Wirecast to put that feature request into Telestream. Right. Add NDI capability to Wirecast, because it's the great equalizer. We also have graphics applications, NewBlue, CharacterWorks, Chiron, all these different systems, these major graphic systems, VizRT is another one, all are now supporting NDI as a possible way to bring video into any switcher that supports NDI as an input. And
so we're
the other thing,
a ton of questions here, Jim.
Sure.
And we've got 2 minutes till we're going to roll the credits. So, do you want to cover this QStart auto script, or do you?
We can talk about it. I don't have it up and running right now in the system. Basically, QStart from AutoScript is a teleprompter package, and I believe the last time I checked, they were giving it away for free. So if you go to the AutoScript webpage, I think it's AutoScript, you can download that, register it, and once you register it, you can use it. And they built NDI connectivity into that, so you could take your teleprompter feed as an NDI input into your NDI-enabled switcher, which there might be a reason you might want to do that.
Very interesting. And then the last question before we go to the post show where we're going to do the giveaway is, tell us about the future. What do you have, like a few nuggets of wisdom you want to share with us about where you think NewTek's going, where you think the industry's going, where is your company going? Just the throw it into that dream field, the field of dreams.
So first of all, NewTek has a very wise policy about not talking about future development for a good reason. So I can't really speak to that. In general, I think that as this becomes more widely adopted, you're going to see more people, generating their own content. I think the key is figuring out how to monetize it. So as folks get into this business and try to figure out how to monetize what they're doing on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, as far as the future of it, everybody talks about 4K. I'm not really excited about 4K, to be honest with you, because
No.
by the time you get done streaming and you output everything, it's not truly what I call 4K. The people argue with me about that, but there's a lot of really cool applications. Like Data Video has a new product out that will take a 4K camera and generate 4 1080i streams out of it. So you can take one camera, lock it down wide, and then bring out camera segments. I don't know if you saw that product yet. That's a really cool product. You can probably do that with vMix too. I think I saw somebody talking about that. They brought a 4K camera in, and then they cut out segments of the camera feed and send them out as 1080i outputs. I haven't played with that yet. I was thinking about that the other day, about an inexpensive way to do that in vMix, because vMix does support 4K. So just get a 4K camera, a 4K capture card, bring it in. If you can figure out a way to segment different parts of that and then send them out as separate NDI outputs, that'd be pretty cool. I don't know if that'll work yet. If somebody uses vMix,
that is very interesting.
If
Let's give the chat room a moment to chew on that.
I'm
going to
loving
roll
chat
the
right
credits,
now.
and I just gave $1 into that super chat on YouTube to give a little monetization for you, Jim. I'll
There
talk
you
to you
go.
in a moment here. See you in the post show,
Sounds good.
guys.
And that's all, folks. Tune in next Friday on YouTube, and don't miss our new Facebook Live show, airing at the same time on Mondays. Have you joined our new Facebook user group? Stick around for a brief Q&A session where we answer your questions live.
Just be like, don't forget about the giveaway, and then it'll come back.
Wirecast?
No, it's the NewTek Connect Pro app.